learner, welcome back to our class, and today we'll be looking at adjectives. Remember, this week we've been looking at parts of speech, and we've looked at nouns, we've looked at verbs and adverbs, and so today we'll be looking at adjectives. Now, an adjective is a very integral part of language because it does something very magical. You will need to describe each and everything, especially for nouns, each and everything. It helps us with a lot of descriptive writing. For instance, if you're just talking about a pen, there could be so many pens, but one would need to know the exact kind of pen, the specific kind of pen that you are referring to. Or let's say you visited a restaurant, you've eaten chips or fries, whatever you want to call it. So as you talk to your friend, they want to know, how did it taste? Yes, you ate fries. How did it taste? Okay? So adjectives will help you know the exact word to use when describing whatever you will be talking about, or whatever you'll be talking about, so that people do not get the wrong message. Remember, language is all about communication. If you do not communicate appropriately and correctly, people might tend to misunderstand you. So, my dear one, let us go to the main point. What do you think an adjective is? Okay? So as we process that, what do you think an adjective is? So we'll go and describe it together. An adjective, an adjective, okay, an adjective is a word, an adjective is a word that describes a noun. Okay? An adjective is a word that describes a noun. For example, I gave an example with a pen or pens. So if you look at this pen, the one that I'm holding, and I have another one here, and I have another one here. I have so many pens, okay? So let's try and describe the first pen, this one. Well, how will you describe it? You'll say I think it's long. It's a long cylindrical pen, okay? Long cylindrical pen. Or you can choose the colors. You can say it's a black and neon orange pen, okay? And so many others. You can also describe any other thing. So basically, that is what an adjective is. An adjective is a word that describes a noun. In primary school, most of you would say, an adjective is a word that tells us more about a noun, which is correct because when you describe something, you tend to give us more information. So the descriptive aspect or the descriptive function of an adjective is brought up clearly. Okay, so for an adjective, there are two ways in which an adjective can appear in a sentence. One, the automatic one, the one that you are very conversant with or we know, is that an adjective can come directly or immediately before a noun. It can come immediately before a noun. And this is the common way that you are used to. For instance, let's say you're describing a girl. You'd say a beautiful girl. You'd say a beautiful girl. Okay? Let's say you're describing a monster. What will you say? A gigantic monster. Okay, so if you look at these sentences, you will notice that the adjective comes right before the noun. So let us look at it together. A beautiful girl, a beautiful girl. Which one is the adjective in these sentences? Sentence 1, which one is it? Good, beautiful is. So beautiful. Okay? What about the second one? A gigantic monster. A gigantic monster. Very good. Also, the word gigantic. Gigantic monster. So if you notice this, you will see that the adjective comes right before the noun. Right before the noun. And this is the most common thing or the most common sentence structure that we know. What happens if it comes in a way that we don't know? For example, let us use this sentence here and figure it out together. So the sentence I'll give is, Mary seems happy today. Mary seems happy today. Mary seems happy today. So, guys, let us look at this sentence. Mary seems happy today. Try to think or try to locate the adjective. Try to locate the adjective. Which one is the adjective, guys? That is automatically so simple. Happy is the adjective. Happy is the adjective. But how come the word happy is an adjective, yet it has come before the noun? What is happening here? Okay, so which one is the noun? First of all, let us try to identify the noun. Which one is the noun? Remember, the noun is Mary. The noun is Mary. And unlike in the first sentences, the girl, which was the noun, and the monster, which also is the noun, comes after the adjective. In this instance, we see that the adjective comes after the noun. But does it come independently? Does it have to rely on something else? Yes, it is relying on something else so that it can make sense. And which one is that? The word seems. The word seems. The word seems. The word seems. This one is what we call a linking word. Linking word, okay? Or linking verb. Linking word or linking verb. So the structure of this sentence is usually the noun, I will use abbreviations, the noun or the pronoun, because Mary can be replaced with the pronoun. Then we'll say, instead of using Mary, which is the most appropriate pronoun we can use to replace Mary? She. Okay? She seems happy today. So the structure is noun or pronoun. Then we have the linking word. Then we have the linking word. Then we have the linking word. Finally, we have the adjective. We have the adjective. So my dear one, an adjective can come in two forms, or it can be written in two ways. One, this one, the one that it comes before the, noun, okay? Then the second one, it comes after the noun, but usually we must use a linking word or a linking verb before using the adjective. Then finally, whatever else you want to use. Okay? For example, she is a happy girl. She is a happy girl. She is a happy girl. That one falls under here, but also we've used the linking word. So usually it can come in those two structures. So take time to internalize that as we get ready for an exercise. So, having internalized that, let us test ourselves with this short exercise here. The first question reads as follows: I can speak English very. So the words in in brackets were well or nicely. Okay, so I can speak English very nicely, or I can speak English very well. Which one is the most appropriate word? Okay, the answer is I can speak English very well. Well, okay. Then the second one, she is the most politely, or she is the most polite person I know. Which one is the most appropriate answer? Did you get it right? Let's see. She is the most polite. She is the most polite person I know. Okay. So my dear one, I'm sure we've done synonyms. And also, when you're using adjectives, you need to know the most appropriate adjective to use when you're describing an item. You need to know the most appropriate adjective to use when you're describing an item. For example, just allow me to erase this. For example, when you're describing, let's say you're describing someone who is big. Someone who is big. Already the word big is there. Okay? So you've already created that mental picture of this person that is big. So you're describing someone that is big. But for you to bring out the enormous stature of this person, you need to look for the most appropriate adjective to use. For example, you're describing someone who is big, someone who is extremely tall, maybe, blessed. This is horizontally, blessed horizontally, so we won't say the word fat. Okay, but you know what I mean. So let's assume you're describing something big or someone who is big. You need to bring out how enormous this person is, right? So you need to know the most appropriate adjective that will help in creating that mental picture, that will help in bringing that vivid description. Remember, adjectives is all about description. So you need to help the person that you're talking to or the reader create that mental picture. And if you're describing just big and you say, I saw a big man. Okay, that's fine. You saw a big man. But you want to see something extra, something that will create that mental picture. So we suggest that you use words such as gigantic. I love this word so much. Gigantic. Enormous, and so on and so forth. Something that helps in bringing out the mental picture. Then let us also go to when you're describing food, okay? And you want to say, I had sweet fries. I had sweet fries. Or I had nice fries. Or I had delicious fries. So my dear one, all this describe how you felt about the chips or the fries you had. But which one is the most appropriate adjective to describe that food that you had? Is it sweet? Is it nice? Or is it delicious? Correct. It is delicious. So when you're talking about food, you can't afford to say that, Mommy, that food was sweet. No. Sweet is anything that has sugar in it. Okay? Ice cream can be sweet. Candy can be sweet. You understand? Sweet is anything that has sugar in it. So when you're describing food, especially food that is curry, has gravy or soup, You can't afford to use the word sweet or nice to describe it. You have to look for the most appropriate adjective, and the one you're referring to in this instance is food so delicious is. Okay? But sometimes when you're talking about informal language, or you want to describe somebody's character, you can use these words to describe somebody's character. You can say, oh, she's such a sweet girl. That means she's lovable, she's approachable, she's kind, okay? And things like that, yeah? She's such an adorable, sweet girl. That means she's nice, she's, all those kind of things. So my dear one, you must be careful what adjective you use to describe whatever thing you're describing, because it has to bring the mental picture, it has to bring the vivid description that you're talking about. So you can't afford to use wrong adjective to describe things like that. Okay? So let us go to the next one. The next one we'll be looking at the comparative and superlative nature of adjectives. So get ready. So we're looking at the comparative and superlative nature of adjectives. Now let us look at this picture here. Okay, so this is tall, taller, and tallest. This is tall, this is taller, and this is tallest. Basically, that is what we are looking at today. So, what does comparative mean and what does superlative mean? Looking at these pictures here, which one do you think falls under comparative? And which one do you think falls under superlative? Which one? Okay? So, let's discuss. Comparative comes from the word compare. Comparative comes from the word compare. And when you're comparing, remember you only comparing between two things. You're only comparing between two things. So, let's say you have a jug and another jug. So you have to compare between the two. And you use the preposition between, because when you're comparing two items or two people or whatever happens in two, you only use the word between, the preposition between, to show the relationship that each and the other have. Okay? So comparative we use between, and comparative we only add er. We add er to the adjective. For example, the adjective in its normal nature is tall, right? But it's in comparative nature we add er. We add er to bring that aspect of comparison. So, my dear one, if you say she is taller, you have to add the word than. Okay? Than. She is taller than the other person. Okay? So, for comparative nature, we use than. Then we also use between. Between the two, who is the taller sister? Okay? I think she is the taller one. She is taller than her mother. Okay? Yeah. So, basically that. Then, for superlative, as you can see the last picture there, superlative, we add est to the adjective in its normal nature. We add est. Okay, and est is a suffix. A suffix. We have prefixes and suffixes. So the suffix we are using here is er for comparative, but for superlative we add the suffix est. We add est. But my dear one, you will need to remember that this only applies to regular adjectives. Regular adjectives. So we will look into that later, but for now we will look at the regular adjectives, which are these, the ones that follow the common rule of adding the suffix er to the comparative and adding the suffix est to the superlative. Okay? Then for the superlative comes from the word superior. Okay? Superlative comes from the word superior. Superior means being the best among all. Being the best among all. Okay? So if you're talking about tall buildings in a city, maybe the tallest among all other tall buildings is what we will call the superior tall building, and we will say the tallest. So kindly note, I am using the article there, and I am using the preposition among. Okay, so there brings out the aspect that it is the best among the best. It is the best among the best. I don't even know if I'm making sense, but they are good, yes, but this one is indeed the best. We are bringing out the superior nature of whatever we are describing. And we use the preposition among because we are comparing more than 3 items. We are comparing more than 2 or 3 items if we go with that. Okay? So KICC is the tallest building in Nairobi. I'm not sure about that, but I'm using this as an example. Okay? So we only follow this rule with regular adjectives. We only follow this with regular adjectives. So let us look what happens to irregular adjectives. So we looked at regular adjectives, and we said it follows a common rule of adding er to the comparative nature of that adjective or est to the superlative nature of that adjective. It follows just that common rule. Tall, taller, tallest. Short, shorter, shortest. Okay? And any sweet, sweeter, sweetest. Okay? Sawa. So what about irregular adjectives? What happens? Irregular adjectives do not really follow that rule. In fact, if you look at them, as they progress or as we go to the comparative and superlative nature, the spelling of the words completely change. Okay, we don't even add the er, neither do we add the est. It completely changes, and the structure and spelling does change as well. So let us look at this. The most common words that we use regularly. So we have bad, worse, worst. I had a bad day today. She's having it worse. What? You should see him. He had the worst day of his life. Okay? Then, oh, she's such a good girl. No, you think she's a good girl? You haven't met Lisa. Lisa is better than her. No, wait a minute. You haven't met Clarice. Clarice is the best among all. You see? Yes, that's it. So, for irregular adjectives, they do change in structure. They do change in spelling as well. So you can see clearly, bad, worse, worst. Then you have good, better, then best. It's indeed interesting how English can change, right? Yeah, it's indeed interesting. So basically that's it. However, for irregular adjectives, we still use the same prepositions that we used when we were looking at regular adjectives. For example, when you're talking about worse, she's worse, you'll use she's worse than, okay? You'll use than, okay? Or either, because you're comparing two. Or she is the worst. So you'll use the superlative, you'll use the article there when you're referring to the superlative nature of this adjective, regardless of how they appear. Okay? And also among, and so like that. So having internalized that, get ready for an exercise. Get ready for an exercise. Okay, so let's try and do this exercise together. So as we do this exercise, you'll also notice that there are some rules that we didn't talk about, which we will talk about as we do the exercise. So the first question is, an elephant is dash a fly. That's automatic, so you're supposed to use the word heavy. So which one is the most appropriate one? An elephant is heavier than a fly, okay? An elephant is heavier than a fly, so you'll write heavier. Okay, so this is the rule that I wanted us to talk about. For regular adjectives, the words that end with Y, you will erase the Y and replace it with I-E-R. Okay, the one that ends with the Y, especially if there's a consonant, you can see there's a consonant that comes before the Y. So you will erase the Y and replace it with I-E-R. Okay, prettier, heavier. So we'll notice a lot of that. Hopefully you don't forget that. Okay, so the second one, Mary is the dash pretty of all. So try that out, try it alone. Okay, have you tried it? Good. So Mary is the prettiest of all. The prettiest of all. Why are we saying that? That is the answer. Because as you can see, we have the article there. The article there, we said, brings about the superlative nature, superior nature of that adjective. And like in the first question, you automatically know that there's a comparison between two things, an elephant and a fly. An elephant and a fly. Can you even compare the two? Can you? Yeah, so I feel that this was an unfair comparison, but at least it helps us bring the point home, so can't say that bad after all. Yeah? Mary is the prettiest of all. So as also this one follows the same rule, you will erase the Y and replace it with I-E-S-T. So prettiest. Okay? Number 3, let's try that together. English milk is dash French milk. So there's English milk and there's French milk. Okay, I think we've been drinking a lot of English milk. So English milk is dash than, sorry, I gave you the answer, is, yes, French milk. So the comparison as well, there's comparison between English milk and French milk. Okay, so which one do you think is the answer here? English milk is stronger. Okay, stronger. So this one, you'll just add the ER. Is stronger than, you also have to add than. English milk is stronger than French milk. Okay. Number 4. Who is the, in brackets, rich woman on earth? So remember, they're not comparing between two people. It is the entire universe. So which is the answer? Good. Who is the richest woman on earth? Who is the richest woman on earth? Okay, so that was it. So we've looked at comparative and superlative nature. We've looked at adjectives. So we are going to the next thing, which is the order of adjectives. Are you ready? So let's get ready for that as well. So we'll be looking at order of adjectives. I'm sure so many times you are told to describe something using more than one word or using more than one adjective. For example, look at this sentence. A white sailing boat. A white sailing boat. Or a red high-heeled shoe. Okay, a white sailing boat or a red high-heeled shoe. You've been told so many times to describe, or you just find yourself, describing an item using more than one adjective. But sometimes you don't know in what order they should follow. What order should they follow? So you find yourself mixing up. You don't know whether to start with the color. You don't know whether to start with, the origin, in so many things. But don't worry. We are here to do that. So guys, with me here, I have a short video. Kindly listen to it, then we'll get back. Okay? Listen to this video and listen to it carefully, because I will be asking questions.
What is the order of adjectives? Adjectives denoting attributes usually occur in a specific order. Generally, the adjective order in English is determiner, number, opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purposes. Determiners are articles like a, an, and the. Possessives like my, your, his, her, our, its. Qualifiers like some, several, many, all. Or demonstrative like this, that, these, and those. While numbers are cardinal like 1, 2, 3, or ordinal like first, second, third. Opinion or quality describes your judgment or what you think about something, like amazing, exciting, smooth. Size describes how big or small something is, like huge, tiny, microscopic. Age describes how old or young something is, like young, new, or old. Shape describes the shape of something, like circular, triangular, rectangular. Color describes the color of something, like pinkish, black, white. Origin describes where the noun is made of, like Filipino, American, Korean. Material describes what the noun is made of, like wooden, silk, metal. Purpose describes where the noun is used for, like cooking, baking, relaxing. Let's have a sample sentence. Mrs. Chua gave me 2 juicy huge watermelons. 2 is a number. Juicy is an opinion. And huge is a size. Now, choose the correct order of adjectives. Number 1. Mom gave me a blank dress? A. Silk, beautiful pink. B. Beautiful pink silk. Or C. Pink silk, beautiful. The answer is Mom gave me a beautiful pink silk dress. Number 2. My sister lost her blank pendant. A. Metal, small, round. B. Round, metal, small. Or C. Small, round, metal. The answer is my sister lost her small, round, metal pendant. Number 3. We ate blank pizza. A. A tasty Italian. B. Tasty Italian or C. Italian a tasty. The answer is we ate a tasty Italian pizza. Number 4. I keep my blank utensils in this cabinet. A. Cooking old wooden. B. Old wooden cooking. Or C. Wooden cooking old. The answer is I keep my old wooden cooking utensils in this cabinet. And number 5. I saw a blank bird in the backyard. A. Black, scary, large. B. Large, black, scary. Or C. Scary, large, black. The answer is I saw a scary, large black bird in the backyard. And that was the order of adjectives. Determiner, number, opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purposes.
Having watched that short clip or that short video, I'm sure there's some things you've noticed or you've seen. So we all agree that the determiner should come first. Okay, the determiner should come first. What is the determiner, or what kind of words or what kind of adjectives fall under the determiner? One, we have the articles are, and, they, and also maybe pronouns and things like that. Yeah, we have and, they, theirs, ours, such kind. Then we have number. Okay, maybe a 5-year-old boy and things like that. Then what follows is opinion. Opinion is what you think, from your perspective, your own perspective. It doesn't have to be any other person's. So someone else might have a different opinion on whatever thing you're describing. Then the size, okay? Then the shape, age, okay? Color, then origin, where it comes from, then material, then purpose. In our previous exercise, you noticed the fourth question was going like this. English milk is stronger than French milk. So, English milk means that milk originates from England. Okay, then French milk, that milk originates from France and things like that. Then material could be wooden, could be silk, could be velvet, could be earth, could be mud, anything that is used to make that. Then purpose, what is it meant for? Our previous example was a white sailing boat. A white sailing boat. Sailing meaning that boat has the purpose of sailing, or it is meant for sailing. So guys, basically the video will really help. rewind it as many times as you can. Go through it and listen to it one more time, okay? Then internalize that this is the order of adjectives. So many of you have come up with, especially in primary school, you came up with acronyms or even songs that could help you remember the specific order, which is very much okay. You can come up with that, but please do not forget that this is the order in which it should be, or the order that you should follow. Okay, so get ready for an exercise. So let's look at these two examples or exercises to test ourselves. One, we wanted dash table. So the words are metal, and gray. So which one do you think is the answer? Let us remember the order of adjectives. Which one comes first? Definitely the determiner will come first. So it goes like this. We wanted between metal and gray. Which one will come first? Metal is material. Gray is color. Which one will come first? Okay, the gray, then material. We wanted a gray metal table because it has to follow the order of adjectives. You can start and say, we wanted a metal gray table. Even if it doesn't sound grammatically correct, or even if it was sounding grammatically correct, it doesn't matter. What matters is you have to follow the rule. The order of adjectives has to be followed to the letter. Then the second one, let's try it together. He bought a, the words are British. Okay, the Britons will say British. British. Anyway, he bought a British fabulous woolen suit. So which one is the correct way? Okay, for them now here we have a determiner, so we don't have to come up with one. He bought a, so fabulous comes first. He bought a fabulous British, then woolen, because fabulous is an opinion, British is origin, and woolen is material. Then the noun suit. So my dear one, we've done a whole course on adjectives. We've done the description, the definition of what an adjective is, what it does, okay? We've also done how it's written in a sentence, or the sentence structure that an adjective can appear after and before a noun. But before a noun, after a noun, if we have the linking verb, it must have that linking verb. Then we've also done the comparative and superlative nature and the rules that one has to adhere to when talking about the comparative and superlative nature. And finally, the most tricky, the trickiest part, this one, order of adjectives. You see, I was also fumbling a little bit there. Order of adjectives. We've watched a video, we've looked at a picture, we've even tested ourselves. Why wouldn't you make it? I was your teacher, Miss Mary. Until next time.